Need to get it out of their mind that just because somebody looks like they don't know what they're doing, it doesn't always mean that they don't know what they're doing. Some people can just be socially awkward. And that's really what it is sometimes when people just look out of place or they look like they don't know what they're doing. Sometimes it's just that they're socially awkward. But it doesn't mean that they are not doing their job or capable of doing their job. Some people are just awkward. And that's all it is. It's nothing deeper than that. I could be doing my job to the T, to the letter. You know what I mean? Doing what I'm supposed to do. And people might say, just be based upon how I look, like they will judge you because of that. Because we live in a society that's very surface level. We live in a very surface level society. So if somebody looks a certain way, it doesn't even necessarily mean that they're not fulfilling their job role just because they look a certain way. People will judge them just because of that. You know what I mean? And make it seem like they don't know what they're doing just because they're a little bit awkward. Um, I had that happen to me today. You know what I mean? People can be awkward sometimes, or allowed to be awkward, and as long as you still have you're still providing that person a service and you're still doing your job, you can be as awkward as you want. You're still getting the job done. But Americans are just very service level. That's just how this type of society works. In New York City, Americans are very surface level. Um, they don't look at the fact that, okay, even if you're still doing something for them, and you're like, you're still doing something for them, and you're like, they're getting the service that they were looking for. They will not look at that. They always look at how somebody is speaking or their demeanor or just like how they're walking. You know what I mean? But like, it's all about projecting this false sense of confidence. You know what I mean? So much like in Western societies, that's just what a lot of like work is. It's just projecting a false sense of confidence, as well as projecting hospitality, a sense of like, trying to be customer service oriented or hospitality oriented, where you're trying to make somebody like feel comfortable or make somebody feel familiar, like they're familiar with you. You know what I mean? And sometimes when you are just naturally like a little bit awkward and you're just like, you know what I mean? People will just look at that and think that you're not on the ball when it could be far from the truth. You know what I mean? But that's all I have to say for now. That's all I'm thinking about, I guess, based on my experience for today. Bye.